Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lori Bradner, and I'm with the Florida Aviation Network. We are here live at the 42nd Annual Sun and Fun, where we are celebrating our United States Armed Forces this year. We are broadcasting from we are actually here at the museum at the Center for Excellence, and I am honored today. I've had such an extraordinary day. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, as an educator and a teacher, I am here with a teacher's teacher, an educator's educator, and Barbara Walters-Phillips. It is an honor to be asked to be the one to interview you because you inspire me, you make me a better teacher, and thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule today to be with the Florida Aviation Network. Now, I must ask you, I know that time is short, you're extraordinarily busy because tomorrow, you have your teachers' workshops happening. So tell us a little bit about the history of those workshops, and can you tell us, I don't know if it's a trade secret, but can you tell us, give us a hint about what's going to happen tomorrow for the teachers?
Yes, I would be happy to do that. Yes. Well, we kind of hadn't thought about how many workshops this has been.
Okay.
So I looked that up this week, and this is the 29th.
Awesome.
Educators Workshop at Sun and Fun.
Awesome.
It is amazing.
And you have been there since the beginning?
No, I was not, because it was founded by Mr. Raylene.
Fabulous. And we're going to talk about him a little bit later. That is awesome. For 29 years. Now, how did you get involved, Barbara, with the workshops?
Well, I actually got involved about year 6.
Okay.
And I was actually attending an air show convention.
Okay.
Because my husband is was then the air show chairman here at Sun and Fun.
Awesome.
And then the founder of Sun and Fun, Billy Henderson, saw me, and
Fabulous.
By the time we finished talking, he had talked me into taking over as the chairman.
Okay.
And now that's been 20-some years, so.
That is awesome.
That's how it started.
Amazing. Now tell me a little bit, as educators, we always have a mission and a goal. What is the goal for these workshops? What are you hoping to do for the teachers? And I know that it's not just teachers at Central Florida Aerospace Academy.
No.
Anyone, any teacher from, it doesn't matter, Polk County, from Manatee County, from Citrus County.
Yes.
What is the mission? What do you hope to do?
Well, our purpose is to teach teachers to integrate aviation and space into their curriculum.
Fabulous.
And we tell them they can do that in any subject area and at any grade level. So when we choose our presenters each year, we choose ones who are new and different, and then some years we bring some back who bring a new idea that they're going to do. Because we do get some teachers who come very faithfully every year, but we also get new ones.
Okay.
So we're very excited, and we're going with very much of a STEM theme to that, along with the aviation and space. And again, it's a matter of letting teachers know how to integrate it in, because we know they have to teach their standards, and in order to bring the aviation in, you have to align that with the standard. And it's just very, very exciting and motivating for students, so we like to make sure that teachers know how to do that.
Right, and one of the things in education is credibility, and really, I would be remiss, Barbara, if I did not, and I think many people know you, they know of you, but they don't know your background, and there really couldn't be a better person to lead it. Can you tell a little bit, you have been an educator for a very long time, can you tell people a little bit about your background in education? Because I think that's so important, what you bring to the table.
Well, I actually grew up in a very, very small town in Pennsylvania, little town of Mifflintown. We're between Harrisburg and State College.
Okay.
And my dad was one of very few people who had a small airplane. So on weekends, particularly Sunday afternoon, my whole family would go to the little airport, and my dad, of course, would be flying. And he gave so many people their first airplane ride in a small plane. To this day, when I go back home, people will come up and say, you know, your dad gave me my first ride. Well, I guess his love of aviation rubbed off on me.
Okay.
I actually learned to drive a car at that little local airport.
That's awesome.
So yes, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that's he was teaching me a lot about flying, and then I had a lifeguarding job in high school. So in the summer, I didn't always get to go every Sunday like I did spring and fall.
Right.
But that's really where it all started. And then I knew I wanted to be a teacher. So once I started teaching, I went to a workshop in Baltimore, Maryland, one Saturday many years ago. And I met Scott Crossfield, who's one of our presenters.
Yes.
And I was so motivated from meeting Scott. And I went back and I said, you know, I can do this. I'm going to start using this in my classroom. Well, once you start teaching it to students, you really get just pulled in. And so I called my dad one day and said, Dad, I'm going to go out, or I already had, I guess, and I signed up for flying lessons. And he said, oh, you mean you're going to come home and we're going to kind of start flying again? And I said, no, I actually signed up. I have a flight instructor. So I learned to fly in Hagerstown, Maryland, which is where I was teaching. And so then, you know, once you learn all of that, you just can't stop. You want to keep working with it. So I started a workshop for teachers at BWI Airport. It was called Take It to the Top. And we used to get, on a Saturday, 400 teachers who would come.
Amazing.
And so when Billy Henderson asked me to do this, I said, well, okay. And I told him a little bit about that workshop. And so my goal has always been to get those kind of numbers here.
Right.
Well, our teachers there came from kind of several states.
Okay, right.
So why not here, right?
Exactly.
So we do try very hard to go beyond just Florida even.
Okay.
And we do. We have people who come to the fly-in. So several each year will come to the workshop.
Now, talk to me a little bit about some of the things, because one question, if there's any teachers out there, because we are streaming live, so if there are any teachers out there that are hearing this, is it too late to register, or can they sneak under the wire?
Oh, they can.
Okay,
they
good.
just need to come in tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And when you come through main registration, we have one little ticket booth there that will have our Apple logo.
An apple for the teacher.
Apple
I love it.
for
Yes.
teacher.
Perfect.
And if they look for that window, they can register right there on site.
Fantastic. And what time tomorrow, Barbara? What time is the workshop? Can you tell me a little bit about the program? And for those that are going to be there that might be listening, and those that are interested that want to come after meeting you and seeing you, can you tell us a little bit about what they can expect?
Well, yes. If they come, I would recommend around 8 o'clock at least.
Okay.
And head
We're
on
teachers.
over.
We're used to early.
Right.
All good. All good.
Head on over to the Bueller Center.
Right.
Our opening ceremony is in there, and we will have a welcome by the president of Sun and Fun and the chairman of the board. Fantastic. And then we will do a drawing. We've had just wonderful, wonderful support from the Aeroshell aerobatic team. They're donating rides, so 4 of our teachers will fly at 9 o'clock with the Aeroshell team, and we'll take them out on the golf cart to the flight line. And then they will go from there to the first session.
Okay.
So we have 3 sessions in the morning. They're 45 minutes each.
Okay.
9 to 9:45.
Okay.
10 to 10:45, and 11 to 11:45.
Okay.
We, in the past, have had 5 classrooms on the 3rd floor of the academy. This year, I just requested 4 because we have added a new classroom.
Fantastic.
And that is in the 727.
Yay!
Yes.
That is awesome.
So there will be 3 presentations in there.
Awesome.
So they get
Fantastic.
each hour, there are 5 that they may choose from to attend.
Okay, and they may choose,
choose.
based on their interest, based
Right.
on their certifications.
Correct.
They may go ahead and choose. Now, one thing that's very important to teachers, obviously, are the continuing education credits and the hours. Is that something that you can speak to? I know as an educator,
Yes.
can you speak to that for those teachers that are coming and those that are interested?
Yes, we provide a certificate
Fantastic.
to each teacher, and it states that they can receive 5 in-service points, 5 hours, because
Fantastic.
during the lunch we're still educating because we have an astronaut who will be speaking.
May I ask, is that a
yes.
secret? Who's coming this
No.
year?
Oh, Joe Edwards. Yes.
Yay, that's
and,
awesome.
And this is our first time, but in addition to being our astronaut and our keynote speaker, on Sunday, he's flying his T-28 in the air show. Is that awesome?
That is awesome.
So we're very excited. We think probably a lot of the teachers will come back after meeting him to see the show on Sunday.
Now, in honor of Mr. Raylene, I know that during the luncheon, there is also an award ceremony after the keynote.
Right.
Can you speak to that? Because it truly is an honor as a science teacher, as an aerospace educator. That Raylene, I believe it's the Raylene Award, is truly an honor to receive. Can you tell me a little bit about that, how that award came about? And once again, I'm asking you for all the trade secrets. Can we let it out to our Florida Aviation Network who the Raylene Award winner is for this year?
Yes, and this will be the first official announcement.
Yes, I love it. Yes. Right here on Florida Aviation Network.
Right here and now.
I love it.
We started giving that award a number of years ago to honor Mr. Lean for starting the workshop. And many, many people, including Lori here, has received that award. And this year, we have someone who is a tremendous support of aerospace education and teachers. He comes out, he has presented at the workshop before as just an amazing person. He's been to my school in Orlando several times where he has presented to the students. And in addition, he has this email connect that is unbelievable. Everywhere he goes, anything he gets that he feels will help teachers to teach young people and to let them know up and coming things, especially with NASA. He sends that out, and sometimes a couple times a week we will hear from him. So our committee was so impressed with what we've seen him do and what we know he also does throughout the year that we have selected Gabriel as this year's Raylene Award winner.
And we must, I think, Barbara, you and I both, because we both know him, Gabe has accompanied me to Norway. He's accompanied me to Trinidad to promote STEM and STEAM education. I think I would be remiss if I didn't say from both of us, congratulations, Gabe, Gabriel. It's an honor to know him.
It is.
Now, you had mentioned that he's been to your classroom. I also know that our one and only OB came with his cameras, because you don't just have a standard classroom. You don't just teach Monday through Friday. You teach on Saturdays, Barbara, and it's not just Plano. Can you tell me a little bit about Saturdays, the aviation classes? And it was enough that Obi had to take his cameras to get you on film. Can you tell us about what you do on Saturdays? You are nonstop. You're like the Energizer Bunny. You are like the Energizer Bunny. I'm telling you.
That's what my son says about me.
You just keep going. I love it. So tell us about those. Tell us about these aviation classes.
Well, a number of years ago, we started with our EAA Chapter 74 in Orlando. We started the Orlando Youth Aviation Center, OYAC we call it, and we put together a curriculum. Way back, I actually also worked on the curriculum here for the Destination Aviation
Which
Summer
is still
Camp.
going.
Still going.
By the way, going to come this summer.
Oh, they're
yes,
awesome.
July. It's fabulous.
Yes. Well, I wrote a curriculum that would work for that area and with the people that we have in the EAA chapter. And, it was slow at first because I told them they were the instructors. And, of course, they said, no, you're the teacher. And I had to convince them that they all had expertise that they could share. And the first classes that we did, I cannot tell you, one gentleman came up and he had the biggest smile on his face. And he said, I loved it. So now, this is probably 15 to 17 years we've been doing these. We do a fall and then a winter and a spring session. They come for, it's about 2 months, 8 Saturdays.
8 Saturdays.
The youngest are 10 years old, but it goes up through high school. And what we found is the age doesn't matter. If they are passionate about aviation, they're in. And so we try to make it as much hands-on as we can. Different presenter, different topic each week. which
Wow.
keeps them interested because
Yes.
we appreciate that they will get up and come to class on Saturday mornings.
Right, right. After being in school all week.
After
I
being
love
there.
it. That's
Exactly.
Yep.
And we have a young engineer who does the introduction
Okay.
and just shares some amazing information. And then they have those little gliders, you know, the
Yes.
airport gives those little gliders. And so they play with those and they think, well, this is great. But then they are given a piece of balsa wood,
Okay.
some tape, and some paper clips.
That's it.
And yes, and they have to design a glider that will fly the greatest distance. So they start with just that much, and keep in mind, most of them just met each other that morning. So we
Right.
put them in groups of like 3, and by the end of the morning, it's amazing.
That's
Amazing
phenomenal.
what they come up with.
Now, where do you take them? What is the goal? So is it in by the time when they come? Obviously, it sounds like an introduction to flight
That-
and the physics.
yes.
And then where through the 8 weeks? Where do you progress? What do you do with them to get them to the end when they graduate from the 8-week course?
We try to bring in as much as we can. So we do navigation.
Okay.
We do communication.
Amazing.
The young lady who teaches the communication has them make up little N numbers, and she does a role play, and they're getting up and getting into the traffic pattern, and she gives them, and if they don't repeat it back right, they have to keep doing
Keep
it
going.
till they get it right.
Go around.
Yes. So we do that. We study weather. We
Yes.
have a lot of hands-on weather demonstrations that they do.
Okay.
Then to break that up a little, we walk over to the sheriff's hangar, and they have done a fabulous video, just
Fabulous.
great. But we talk about careers. We also try to bring in a career focus to this.
Right.
Anything that's related to aviation, so they
Right.
learn there about law enforcement, and they have to have their degree in that first
Okay.
before they can get in
Right.
the aviation division.
Right.
But they get to see the helicopters and their plane, and really, really fun there. Then we also go over to the control tower 1 week.
Wow.
And our airport manager meets us there, and he talks about when this was a military base. So they
Yes.
get the history of the airport. We divide them into 2 groups, and
Okay.
the other half goes up and meets with the air traffic controllers.
So they get to see it.
Oh yeah, from the control tower, and they get to hear them and see them, but they're talking to the pilots.
Yeah.
Now we keep that in mind as we go through the next few weeks, study some other things, and then we get to the next to the last week, which is flight planning,
Yes.
and they get out their charts and
The plotter.
the plotters,
I
and
love
they
it.
plot a course to 3 local airports. And it takes quite a while, and they learn a lot. And we tell them the reward for all this work is when you come in next week, you will fly your graduation flight, and the graduation flight is to those 3 local airports.
That is awesome.
So each one will sit in the right seat. We put 3 in each plane.
Okay.
They will sit in the right seat next to the pilot. They land at each airport and change
and
seats.
change seats.
So when they're in the back, they're not just on a scenic tour. We tell them they have to look for the checkpoints. They have to help watch for traffic.
That's right.
So we keep them very much involved.
It takes a team. Now, Barbara, that's amazing. Where, I have to ask, where do you get the pilots? Because that's a lot of kids. That's a
is.
lot of kids to fly, and we know
Yes.
Young Eagles flights. We know all
Right.
about that. So talk to me a little bit about your community involvement, because it's really not, it takes a village, we know, in education.
It does.
Where do you get the pilots that will
Well-
come out and bring their planes and do this?
It is through our EAA chapter. So it also qualifies as a Young Eagle flight.
Yes.
So we
Fabulous.
use our pilots that also are our Young Eagle pilots that we
Yep.
fly every other month. We fly those. But this is a little different. It's a longer trip.
Right.
And some of our pilots absolutely love it. They love the bigger trip, getting to know the kids,
Yeah.
and they see how enthusiastic these kids are. And honestly, the pilots come back with as big a smile as the kids, saying, oh, wow, I really feel like I could make a difference because I had the chance to talk to them about aviation and things that they could do one day.
amazing.
So it really is great. But we meet right there at Orlando Executive Airport. We have a little clubhouse.
Yes.
And the pilots taxi up, and we just kind of walk around the corner. This last
It's
group,
door to door.
the last group we had 18, so we needed 6 airplanes. And you're right, that was a challenge to find 6 pilots
Yeah.
available the same Saturday morning.
That's right.
But it was great. It all came together, as it always does, you know?
It does.
Aviators are a special group.
And you know
They
what?
really are.
That really, I think their excitement comes because that's the future
It
of
is.
aviation. Now, I do have a question, Barbara, because I know that we've got international partners here, we've got teachers all over here that are international, that are here, as well as from different states, different counties. If they are unable, for whatever reason, not to come to the workshop, if their schedules will not allow that, is there a booth? Is there a place where they could come talk to you, see you? Do you have anything here where they could actually come and get some ideas from you and things like that?
The workshop will be just tomorrow.
Just tomorrow,
in the
okay.
morning, and I am here though through Sunday.
You are. That's what I was going to ask.
I am,
Okay.
and I would be happy to give, my email, my cell phone, whatever. They can text me, call me, and I'll be happy to meet with them right here on site to talk about ideas, or through, later.
Right.
Either way.
Okay.
Because this is my passion.
Yes.
This is what I love, and
Yes.
sometimes it's just a matter of giving them some ideas and some encouragement, because you're right, they often think, oh, that's way too much and no one will support it,
Right.
but they will.
Right.
And the students, the parents, I have to tell you, the parents who bring those students, they always ask, well, could we sit in the back? And I've had them say, I really wish you could offer classes for parents. And I said, well, if I had one more day in the week, I would.
Exactly. Yeah. Make me an 8-day week. And,
Right,
And
then we could do it.
Exactly.
And I also like to share this, through the schools and all with teachers,
Right.
so that they see, in addition to what they do at school, there are programs like this, and like Destination Aviation here, the summer camps,
Yes.
where the students can continue to grow. I've had many of them ask me, and I send them down here, and they'll even carpool and bring them down to Lakeland in the summer.
That's awesome. One thing, I think a lot of times as educators, especially with everything, because you are so specialized with your background in aviation and everything that you do, one thing I want to bring to light is that for teachers out there, they don't have to be pilots
No.
to bring this into the classroom. Can you speak to that? Because I think a lot of times as educators, we become a little bit afraid that I've never flown, or I don't know anything about aviation. So we're reluctant to bring this to our classroom. And I don't think there's anybody better to speak to that than you. So just as we close, could you give a word of encouragement to those educators?
Absolutely. If it is something that you are genuinely interested in, you can do it. You do not have to fly. You might get caught up in it and decide you want to.
You're going to want
Well,
to.
yes, you will want to. But the other thing is, there are pilots in your local area who would love to come and work with you, as the teacher, to kind of mentor you till you get where you feel comfortable with presenting it. There are some absolutely great programs out there that you can get. The Civil Air Patrol for the elementary age has the ACE program.
Yes.
That's an awesome program, very much hands-on, and you will be amazed when you start working with it, how you start learning it. And you cannot be afraid to try. It's okay to try, and if it doesn't go perfectly, that's okay. Because you're learning, and the next time you do it, it will just keep getting better and better. But you do not have to be a pilot. I wasn't when I started teaching it. I just got so involved with it, and I do love it.
Yes.
I love the aviation community, a very, very supportive community.
Now, teachers that are interested, I know that we've got EAA chapters locally.
Right.
That's something that they could Google and look at.
Yes.
And so we would encourage you, regardless, would you encourage them if they're interested in this, even if they're not in Polk County or in Orange or in one of near you, that they would go online, look for their local EAA chapter?
Yes, and they can start if they wanted. Ours is just EAA74.org. They could email there, and I'll be happy to help them.
Thank you.
Find someone in their area, because that is a really good group to support, and they will come out and help you.
Right. And really their mission in the EAA is education.
It is.
Barbara, it is an honor to have you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please, teachers, Do not miss this workshop. I can attest from firsthand, you definitely do not want to miss this. Barbara, thank you for sharing your expertise, your love, and your passion and your dedication with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Lori Bradner with the Florida Aviation Network. Please come see us here at the 42nd Annual Sun and Fun. We're broadcasting live from the Aerospace Center for Excellence, and we look forward to seeing you here.